Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to this week's episode of Monday Motivation. Gosh, my hair looks fluffy this morning. But anyway, enough about that. How are you doing this Monday morning? My name's Jenny Kovacs and I am known as the Queen of Being Seen. And really, my purpose here, I guess, is to help you to spread your ripples far and wide. So whether you're an employee looking to be promoted, whether you're a business owner who's looking to get your message, your work, your services out there, that's why I get out of bed. Not only at 7 o'clock in the morning, but sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning. So thank you so much for joining on this week's episode. Now, this week's episode is called Avoiding Negative Influences. And this is based, as always, on the stuff that I'm going through in my life and stuff that I've travelled through, but also the things that I see with the people around me, my peers, my beautiful vibers, my vibe tribe, and, you know, so many other people that kind of get stuck on things in life. So I want to be able to bring these to you live, these motivations to motivate not only your morning, not only your Monday, but your week. And, you know, let's motivate our lives here, because this is what avoiding negative influences is all about. So if you're watching live, just say hi, let me know where in the world you're watching from. Although at 7 a.m. UK time, I normally presume that you are watching from somewhere in the UK. So if you can just type a comment in. I'm also looking down here because I suspect, you know, every now and then I don't get to see your comments, and that saddens me, and I don't want to miss anything that you're saying. So let me just double check. Let me see if I've got, this is so weird when you do a Facebook Live and you end up having to watch yourself. Yes, as I suspected, the comments aren't showing here, but I'm going to look at them here. So if you normally watch this live and you notice other people who watch it, so I know the lovely Faye wanted to get dressed and ready so that she could watch this morning. If you're noticing our usual suspects, people like Ian, people like Alan who aren't here, share this with them. Let them know, hey, come on, Jenny started. She's flapping her gums already. And it's not even 7:30 in the morning at the start of the week. Sorry, I'm distracting myself by this fluffy bit of hair here. So anyway, let's talk about avoiding negative influences and why it's such a pivotal part, or been such a pivotal part in my life. Now, the first thing I want to say is that often we have a plan, and it could be a plan for our purpose in life. Sometimes we have a dream or a vision of something that we really want to achieve. Sometimes it just feels like a goal, and other times it feels like a wish. And I know that so many of you, and I'm not the only person that navigates and goes through these things in life. So, hey, Ivona says, morning, Jenny. Morning, Ivona. I know that I'm not the only person that has, you know, plans, dreams, visions. You know, and back in my corporate days, I remember our yearly objectives, the things that we had to achieve, and the things that our line manager or whoever that might be would then sit down and work through it with you. And I thought it was interesting that so many people wanted to do so well at work. They wanted promotion, they wanted career enhancement, and what they would often do in terms of achieving their dreams would wait until maybe the night before, sometimes if we were lucky the week before, and then sit and fill out their appraisal document. And you know, that's not what you do if you're taking action on something that is like a desire, a true deep desire, an intention, a dream, a plan. When you want something, you want to be going for it. And the reason why I'm sharing this particular subject today is because this is something that I have seen stop myself, and I've seen so many other people. You know, quite often in my chats with my private clients, there are things that they kind of get stuck on, they can't move past, and this is one of them. This is one of them. So if you have a plan, a dream or desire, I'm going to talk a little bit about avoiding negative influences. So I'm just going to have a look at this here, and I'm going to have to turn the volume down. Hey up, Ian says, good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Ian. How the devil are you? Okay, let me just share this link. I was a couple of minutes late getting on, so I suspect that because of that, I have confused some of my audience. So if you know of other people that could do with a little bit of motivation for their Monday, their morning or their week, share this on your timeline. You never know who of your Facebook friends could do with a little pep. And it's interesting because I was speaking to someone quite recently who has been through just a really amazing experience, and there are times throughout those experiences where we hit a high, sometimes we hit a low. People never know what you're going through, and you never know what other people are going through. So if you want to spread the word and you're happy to share this video, please do. I am so grateful to you. Okay, so I am, let's just have a look. Oh, no, I can't share this either. So hold on. Hey, Alan's on. So we've got Alan, Ivona and Ian. Thank you for joining me so early. And Ian's saying he's great, and because I asked him how he was, because I'm that kind of girl, he said he's great and ready for another awesome week. Ian's been up to some really great things in terms of his training and stuff like that. So how did it go yesterday, Ian? Was it yesterday that you were running your 10k, 5k? Let me know. You know me, nosy by nature. I like to know how you got on. So anyway, avoiding negative influences. Now, this is a subject close to my heart because I'm sometimes seen as ambitious. I'm sometimes seen as somebody who wants to just go for it and go out and get things. And I remember being told from quite an early age that sometimes you need to stop seeing the world through rose-tinted glasses, you know, get with the real world and that kind of stuff. And sometimes the people around me didn't recognise the same dreams and desires that I had, like in my heart. And that's fine, because they're not their dreams, their plans, their desires. They're not even their objectives. You know, even companies recognise that. You get separate objectives. And that's okay. But one of the things that I noticed, going back a couple of years ago, I remember having this goal. And when you have your own business, it's like if you don't bring in your income, then it can drastically affect your life. You know, there's a saying that money doesn't buy you happiness, but having no money certainly can bring you a lot of unhappiness. So I'd had this income goal in my mind. And of course, when you have your own business, you don't have your marketing department go out and run a marketing campaign. You don't have your sales team go out and visit all of your clients or potential clients and speak to them on your behalf. You need to do this all yourself. And you need to do this and you need to do it consistently so that you're always bringing in an income. So for so many times I had this income goal in my head of what I wanted to achieve. And finally, I put in the work anyway, and finally I managed to attain this income goal. And I was ecstatic. I was so happy. It was a massive milestone for me. One that at times I'd wondered whether I would make it or not, whether I'd be able to achieve it or not. Hey, Faye's on. Good morning, Faye. She says, good morning, everyone. And Ian ran his 5k. He said he managed it in just under 44 minutes. That's great going, Ian, considering that you could not run a 5k a little bit before. So that's awesome stuff. So going back to the story, and remember that if you want to catch up with this later, just click on the little arrow below that says save this video, and you can come back to it any time. Consider it like maybe a pep talk. So many times in my career and life, you know, having your own business and wanting to achieve certain income goals means that you have to go out and do it, means that you have to go out and get it. And so many times I'd had this milestone in my head, you know, to make this particular number of figures per month. And this month I did it. This particular month, I remember being so ecstatic, so happy, so like excited and like almost incredulous in disbelief. Oh my gosh, I did it, I did it, I did it. But you know what I noticed about that feeling? Although there was a residual part of that feeling lasted for a lot shorter space of time than me wanting and striving and aiming to get this goal. And it concerned me. Hey, Lucy's on. Morning, Lucy. Lucy is an awesome woman doing amazing things in the world. I look forward to seeing the even more awesome things you do, because you're already doing it, but you're going to be doing even more awesome things. I can feel it. So here's what I wanted to share with you around avoiding negative influences, and why me attaining this income goal was so huge in a kind of a revelation or an insight as to what happened. The reason for this was because after spending all of this time thinking, oh, I need to do this in my business, and, you know, doing the hard work, the consistency, speaking to people, marketing for myself, selling for myself, getting myself out there, you know, upping my own levels of visibility, really boosting that and raising my own profile so that this could all happen, I realised that I'd spent far, far, far more time in the angst of it, in the worry of it, and even worse, and not many people will admit this out loud, but, you know, I'm about being authentic and real. After the high of achieving this goal kind of petered down, then I went into, how am I going to do it again? What if that was a one-off? What if I had a lucky experience? Oh, thank you for sharing my video, Eunice. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. What if, and welcome, by the way. You know, what if? And I went into this kind of like negative place, and this place of concern and worry. And, you know, this is one of the afflictions, if you like. If you're really driven, you're ambitious, and you're wanting to go for things, it's like you line these things up that you want to go for, like a to-do list, and then you get to them, and then all of a sudden, it's like all the hard work and the effort. Oh, yeah, that's done. You forget about it, and then you're on to the next thing and on to the next thing. And one of the things I realised that was really important to stop that from happening was to sit in the moment and enjoy it. Enjoy what was going on. Yikes, you're starting to sound like me. Oh, what did I say, Faye? What did I say? Why am I starting to sound like you? And I think it's really important to share this piece, because you'll hear people saying that happiness is an inside job, you know, and working from the inside out and stuff like that. But I wanted to really bring to you what that means, and why avoiding negative influences is like one of the most important things to do. So I'm going to share with you a couple of ways in which I've avoided the negative influences, because I hope that it will help you on whatever part of the journey you're on. Whatever it is you're looking to achieve. It could be that you're looking to achieve optimum health. It could be that you're looking to achieve optimum wealth. It could be that you're looking to achieve a relationship that's like been so important for you to receive into your life. It could be that you're looking to achieve something else within your business. And, you know, there's so many stories that I can share. You know, it's not like you learn these things, do these things, and then tick that off the list. You don't need to revisit it or go back to it. What often happens is it's like a work in progress. It's like going to the gym, and it's like building a muscle. Keep doing it, keep practicing and honing the habits, keep honing, and it builds a muscle. And what it actually does is it makes it easier for you to use that muscle when you need it. And that is like the blessing of all of this. That is the great thing about all of this. So one of the things that I would strongly recommend when it comes to avoiding negative influences is this. Number one, do not bury your head in the sand. Avoiding negative influences is not about burying your head in the sand. In fact, it's about looking at things straight on. And the thing you look at straight on might be that dream or that desire or that wish or that goal or that plan. Look at it head on and look at what it really means to you. And I always start off with kind of like the frame. This is the vibe inside. The vibe inside that I will always start off with is, who is the person that I have to be in order to be this thing, to do this thing, to have this thing. And the reason that I ask that question is because that sets me up for knowing where I want to be and knowing how I'm going to be when I get there, which sounds weird. So if you want to be a multi-millionaire, you're not likely to be a multimillionaire by walking down the street and throwing money around. it's going to bring you a secondary benefit, a secondary gain. And that secondary benefit or gain might initially feel like it's happiness, but then it might allow you to do something you want. So it could be then freedom to do what you want. It could be freedom to make choices. It could be freedom to live a life in the way that you choose. It could be freedom to be who you've always felt that you are. Now, the reason it's important to identify that right from the start is that means that if you know that that goal is going to give you freedom to be who you are, it gives you an insight into you, so you can start being that person, that thing, those habits right now. It's like you are borrowing what you want to achieve right now. And the reason why that's so important is, if you don't recognise where it is you're going to, it's all well and good saying, oh, I want to buy a new car, or I want to have this certain type of business. You will lull yourself into a false sense of security that when you get there, like, then you'll have the thing, then you'll be the thing. When actually the trick is knowing what it is this thing will do, what expectations it will bring, and then bringing that into your life now. So that's the first piece. And if that was a bit of a head spin and that twisted your melon, really save this video and go back to it, okay? Because it's going to be really insightful for you. And it's almost like, go back, it's around, if you go back to around the 16-minute mark, 15.5-minute mark, you'll find it. But it's like building the foundations for what you want and what you want to achieve. And I can see you've had a lot of comments. Ivona says, all will be well, catch up tonight. Okay, so Faye says, sorry, I meant Ivona, having problems shutting off and not getting enough sleep. Ooh, Faye, you know how your babies like a routine. They like to go to bed at a certain time and get up at a certain time, whether it's early or late. I reckon you need a bit of that. That's just my guess. My last comment was for Faye, not to confuse anyone. Okay, that makes sense. A life lived in fear is a life half lived. Absolutely, Faye. Absolutely. And Eunice was saying, good morning, Jenny. Ivona was saying that she's very tired. Late night, 4 hours sleep. Oh my gosh, 4 hours sleep. You must be tired. But anyway, I digress. So once you know, once you recognise in the present time, now, here and now, what you want for your life, it makes it so much easier to not only attain it, but to recognise it when it comes. So one of my practices is gratitude, gratitude or appreciation, some people prefer to call it. And that's really seeing the appreciation in everything and everywhere right now. Even if you haven't done the thing, got the thing, been the thing that you want in your dreams and plans. So with that all set up, with your underpinning all set up, knowing exactly how you what you want and how you want to be, knowing exactly how it will make you feel, knowing exactly how you need to be in this present moment in time moving forward, because that kind of attracts it to you. Doesn't always make logical sense, but absolutely does. Then you can go forward in going for what you want. Now, here's the biggest thing that I have learnt to date around plans, dreams, ambitions, intentions, desires, or whatever you wish to call them. When you avoid or cut down on the negative influences in your life, it makes it so much easier for you to cut through those visions like a hot knife through butter, you know, like a hot rod through ice. It makes it so much easier, because you haven't got the influences of other people. We have enough of our own stuff to clear when we're going for something, especially if it's a hairy, scary goal, a dream or a plan. And we really don't need the outside influences of others. So here are some negative influences that you may wish to avoid if you are going for something. And it might not even feel like it's got anything to do with the actual dream or vision, but trust me, there'll be a lot of people in there just to you know, to let you know that, no, who do you think you are? Why do you think you can do that? No, you can't do that. And I'm going to use a very overused example of Roger Bannister running the 4-minute mile. Up until the point that he ran the 4-minute mile, people were like, you can't do this. You can't run a mile in 4 minutes. Then he ran it. Now, what happened there, he was a positive influence. He then showed people what was possible. And when he showed people what was possible, then all of a sudden, the 4-minute mile record was then rebroken again and again and again. I think it was in a matter of weeks and months after that happened. It wasn't even like years to come. Literally, after he proved that it could be done, then it opened up possibility for other people too. And this is the thing. This is the thing. What we need to do, we need to know what influences us in a negative way. So for me, I found many years ago that I used to sit and read the Sunday papers and the magazines, and I could do that over a brunch, over a brunch and over drinks with friends or whatever else. And I could spend a good 3 hours or more, going through the papers. And what I started to find was that the news didn't appear to me to be such great news. Now, this is not me burying my head in the sand, but I would allow like these 3 hours into my life on a Sunday, and then every day of the week buying newspapers and looking at stuff and just feeling a little bit more scared of life than I had done before, because now I was informed of all the bad things that could happen, how the economy could crash at any given time. And when I wanted to start my business in 2010, we're smack bang in the middle of a recession. I knew that. I didn't need to have negative reinforcement every day about how difficult it could be, how I could end up being bankrupt, how it could really suck my money. I didn't need all of that. What I needed to do was instead to switch my focus on what I could do in the world, what difference I could make, what clients I could go out and reach out to and sell to and market to, what I could do instead of what I couldn't do. And avoiding negative influences is all about looking at what you can do, who you can be, what you can achieve. It's all about ability, and I'm all about activating ability. I don't do it for you. All I do is I'm like a little catalyst that helps you to activate the ability that you've already got. But it's hard to activate that ability when you are surrounded by negative influences. So things like, watching the news and the papers. And it's so funny because I haven't read newspapers. I know what's happening in the world by, social media. And it's not to say that if I'm walking past a newsstand, I don't have a glimpse at whatever the headline is. But I've got a really good friend who's so successful in her own way, and she keeps hitting these barriers. And one of the things I noticed that she did when I last went round to her house was she switches on, she gets up really early, she switches on the news and just has it playing in the background all day. That's like the soundtrack to her life. And that I get upset about this, not because I think news is bad, news is all bad, but she should be making the news. The things that she is aspiring to do in the world are amazing. Why have that kind of the negative influences playing constantly and having that as a soundtrack to your life? Does that make any sense? If that makes sense to any of you, give me a thumbs up or a love heart across the screen. Actually, I'd like to see some love across the screen. Why not? So yeah, if that makes any sense at all, and if that resonates in any way, and if you kind of see what I'm saying, please do. Oh, lovely. Okay, I can see thumbs up and love hearts across the screen. So it does make sense, at least to some of us. Faye says when she finishes at the salon, they always thank the angels for everything that's happened that day. It's great to be thankful, and I hope you remember to appreciate each and every one of you too, because of you all being there, you being the team, and you making that happen. Ivona says that I avoid the news in the morning, but catch up when I'm ready to receive it. Positive morning setup is very important to me, which brings me nicely onto the second thing I wanted to share about avoiding negative influences. How you set up your day is so, so important. So even though I know that I'm going to be here at 7 a.m, even though I know that I am going to be on social media quite early, I still make time in my day before I've done any of that, before I've gone into my email inbox, before I go into social media. I'll always make time for myself. And the way that I make time for myself is through meditation. So I will meditate. That's what I choose to do. Some people choose to pray. Some people choose to go for a run. That's their meditation too. Some people choose to go to the gym and do some other form of exercise. Some people choose yoga. Some people choose that they're going to go for a walk around the block. Whatever your thing of choice is, do that first. Wake up, go straight into that practice first. Set up your day first. You know, there's a school of thought that talks about not checking your emails until midday. Some of you will go, but I've got a business. If I don't do that, I'll lose out on things. My answer to that is, if your house was on fire, would somebody send you an email to tell you? If they desperately need you, they'll call you. They'll contact you in an urgent way. So if that's the case, if you've got that many emails coming in that it's critical that you check them first thing in the morning, then perhaps it's time that you got some help with answering your email so that you can do the things that you need to do, be the person that you need to be in order to set up the business and the day in your way. So avoiding negative influences, it could be around you, like in the news, the newspapers and things like that. The second way to avoid negative influences is to set up your day. And the reason why setting up your day, whether it's meditation, running, exercise, yoga or anything else like that, is so important, it connects you back to who you are. You've had a good night's sleep, hopefully more than 4 hours. It connects you back to who you are. And when it connects you back to who you are, it means that it kind of like starts you from zero. It gives you clarity. It gives you focus. It means that you can like recalibrate the direction that you're going to, which might take you further closer to your plans, to your dreams, to your visions, to your wishes, to your objectives, to whatever it is that you want to call them. Okay, so the third thing that I would say is people can be a challenge. And to me, one of the things that drives me in life, even as a 17-year-old raver, old school raver, I liked being on the dance floor with people that felt the same as me, with people that wanted the same as me. We just wanted to be happy and dance to music, and we wanted to be able to have a great time. That is of paramount importance. The people you surround yourself with, and I'm not just saying surround yourself with people who are yes men. I'm talking about surrounding yourself with people who get the journey that you're on. And sometimes, unfortunately, that's not your close family. Your close family will worry and want to make sure that you're doing well. And they might say, oh, are you sure about this? You know, you going out and doing that? Oh, it's a bit scary. No, I think you should stay in that job for a bit longer. You know, the one that's making you feel miserable. You know, the one that's stopping you from exponentially growing your dreams and your plans. Or you might have people around you that see your growth and can't handle it. You know, I was talking to someone recently about the dynamic, especially in a relationship, like a personal relationship, and sometimes this can be friendship relationships as well, where somebody sees you growing and they feel uncomfortable. They want you back to how you were when they first met you. And, you know, they will try and kind of pull you back to the person that they feel more comfortable with because they're now feeling uncomfortable. You seem to be changing and it's great that you're doing that, but no, come back to the person you were. And that is always done unwittingly as well. And then the next thing are the naysayers. If you are going for something that feels big, scary, and, you know, it's a massive dream that you want, you can't be surrounded by people that are making you feel scared or nervous. So, you know, if you want to like interact with more people who are like that, right here on Facebook, we have the gorgeous Visibility Vibe Tribe, because I'm about visibility vibes, which is trademarked. But the Visibility Vibes is not just a system where you can find your pivotal ways to boost your own visibility, raise your own profile and get out there in the world. And it's not just the program. It's not just a program where you come and work with me or you come and work with me and some others and start to really exponentially get out there in the world. The Visibility Vibes is also a tribe. It's a community of people who get those big, sometimes scary goals, dreams and desires. They get what it feels like when sometimes, just sometimes, you're scared or worried about whether you can actually do it or not. And they're there to support you. So I will be posting in there in a few minutes and just saying, like, how are you going to be motivating your Monday? Let us know, share. Because the one thing I know about the Vibes Tribe is that they all hop in and really get down with each other. So have a look above this video or search or type in the search bar, the Visibility Vibes Tribe, and ask to join the group and you will go in. Now, word to the wise. If you have only just joined Facebook in the last week and you have no photograph, I'm not likely to let you in. Just because this is a real group of real people, and I'm really kind of protective of the community. I want people with a great vibe to join. Thanks for those of you that are joining on even now. Let me know and I'll let you in. So Namisha says, good morning. Sorry for joining in so late. No worries. Good morning, Wonder Woman Jenny. Oh, Wonder Woman. I'm going to wear a pair of red pants over my trousers next time and be Wonder Woman. Anyway, I digress. So those are just some of the things that you can do to avoid your negative influences. Look at your environment, what's around in your environment. Is it the news? Is it the space that you occupy? Do you need to clear your immediate space? Do you not sleep so well because there's a lot of busyness in your bedroom, for example? Have a look at some of the practices. Avoid your negative influences by setting up your day, whether it's meditation, exercise, or anything else like that. And then have a look at the people that you surround yourself with, because you choose to surround yourself with them. And this is not about cutting off people and sort of being a bitch to them or anything else like that. This is about recognising the people that really feed your soul, really feed your spirit, really feed your positive vibe, and recognising the people who just don't. And this is not to say don't ever spend time with them, but those people that don't feed your positive vibe could be people that feed your laughter vibe, or could be people that show up for you in some other way in life. So I hope that's been helpful to you, and I'll be really, really intrigued to know and understand which of those three things, which one thing could you do this week that will make the biggest difference. So it could be a small thing that will make the biggest difference. Do type it in the box below, and if you're part of the Visibility Vibes tribe, let's continue the conversation in there. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for being here. And weirdly, bizarrely, I've had a run of inquiries from people this weekend asking me how they can get involved in the Visibility Vibes, or the Vibes for short, monthly subscription program, which is £29 a month. Not only do I show you like physical ways to get yourself out there, because let's face it, if you're running a business, £29 a month should not break your bank account. It really shouldn't. And if it is, that's even more reason for you to jump in there. But I also cover like these mindset pieces and these other pieces that help and support the actual physical pieces of what you can do. So, hey, we've got Rosalie on. So good. Thanks, Jenny. Ivona says very helpful, Jenny. So, you know, if this is something that you want, if you want something different in your life, we're now way past the halfway mark in the year. And if you started your January saying this year is going to be different, and you're not noticing the leaps and bounds that you were expecting in your year, then this might be a great thing to do. Now, this is an online program, so there's lots of videos, worksheets, checklists and stuff that you can work through by yourself, but I don't like to leave you by yourself. So for those of you that are joining, you actually get access to the Visibility Vibes Inner Circle group, which is one where you get the chance to ask me questions and I'll answer them for you on a monthly basis, on a regular basis. So you also get to see a little peek behind the scenes, and I've got all sorts of people in there, from people who have sponsored my events and people who have worked with me one-to-one, and also people that have attended workshops and programs. Such a juicy community. So I thought I'd address that in this video because I've had quite a few inquiries over that. So if you look above, you'll see the monthly subscription program. All you have to do is click on that, pay by PayPal, pay by credit card, and you just cancel it whenever you're ready to cancel. Staying for as long as or as little as you want. So I hope that's helpful for you. Namisha's already sharing one thing she's going to do this week. She's going to produce her content without the need for input from others. I get too caught up in what others think and lose my authentic voice because of it. That is immense, especially when it comes to raising your visibility. And I love that, Namisha. Look forward to seeing that content. And it's so true. Stay connected with yourself. Avoid those negative influences, because they can be sneaky little critters that can kill your passion and your desire. We don't want that for you in your life. Thank you so much for joining. Look forward to the conversations over in the Visibility Vibes tribe. But for those of you that are wondering what's next, have a look down this timeline, because you'll see some little nuggets of juicy content that I've been sharing so that you can spread your ripples far and wide. Oh, and I guess let me close this session just by saying, I practice what I preach myself. Some of you would have heard me say that I'm looking to make a huge difference in the world. And one of those differences would mean that I need to take some time out, just a few days, and go and learn something and really entrench myself in something to be able to show up in a bigger and better way. So using this and avoiding those influences and plans and dreams, I have managed to make something that seemed like it wasn't going to be possible happen within my business. I'll say more about that and I'll document that as I go through if you're part of my tribe. But I just wanted to let you know that this is not me preaching to you from a pulpit and telling you that I'm right and you're wrong. This is about me being in the trenches with you, me getting the results and doing stuff even when it scares me. So thank you so much for joining on. I look forward to seeing those of you in the monthly subscription program. I look forward to seeing those of you who are clients of mine who we get to speak to each other, and I look forward to hearing what you're going to be doing different in your week. So much love to you. Bye for now.